Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliana, and in today's video, I'm going to be putting together my 2021 vision board. Last year was the very first year I ever tried vision boarding. I even shared it with you guys on my channel. This is last year's board, and I had it up all year long, and I really do think that making something like a vision board, even if I was a little bit skeptical last year, really helps you to realize your goals throughout the year. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, 2020 was not a year of achieving every single goal I had. It was definitely a crazy year for everybody, but I'm determined to make 2021 amazing. My goals have changed, some have stayed the same, which is why I think it's so important to make a brand new board, and that is something I really think is important in vision boarding. Personally, I'm not gonna be setting any New Year's resolutions this year. Frankly, I don't think you should either. I think you should just make goals that you want to achieve throughout the year, whether that be this year, in 10 years, in 5 years, whatever it may be. So looking back at last year's board, I honestly feel like like a kindergarten teacher being like, oh, look here, look here. But basically, I achieved a lot of the goals I set for myself, even though it was more difficult than I expected it to be. The things that stand out that I just didn't make happen were getting a new job. I was looking for a job in like a more high-class restaurant. Getting 2,000 subscribers on Instagram, I actually stopped using that account essentially at all. But everything else that I wanted to achieve, which if you want to know exactly what my goals were based on what I have pictures of here, you guys can go back and watch that video. But everything else I wanted to achieve, I managed to, and I am really proud of myself. So today we're going to sit down, we're going to make a new board covering my new goals. We're going to talk a little bit about what my goals are for the coming year, and yeah, we're gonna make a fun little art project. So whether you want to make a vision board because it's gonna be cute and a nice decor piece, or you want to make a vision board to actually achieve some goals this year, this is the video for you. Let's get right into it. So there are a million ways to make a vision board, and I'm not gonna pretend for 1 second this is the only way or even the best way, but it is the way that I do it, and that's the only way that I have to share with you guys. So this is exactly how I would personally make a vision board. If you're super artistic, don't hesitate to draw, paint, whatever your own vision board. And if you're like slightly less artistic, don't hesitate to go ahead and do this collage, digitally. But basically all I use when I make my vision board is one of these frames I get from the dollar store. These are only $4 and it's like a genuine glass frame. The only thing I can say is that the tape I used to hold my last one onto the wall was genuinely stronger than the frame. So my frame actually broke coming off the wall, but that's not really a big deal to me. Then I just have all these printed off pictures I get, and these are to collage. We're gonna go through all these in a second. Then I just need glue, scissors, and then I got these rhinestones to put on. I did use some last year, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use them any this year, just because I kind of have a different vision in mind for this one. But the very first and my personally least favorite step is cutting everything out. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. There is something supremely satisfying about watching myself cut these up when it's sped up. But I think this is a good time to go through why I chose these things, what each one represents, rather than doing it later on in the video. So this first one's pretty obvious. One of my biggest goals really all the time right now is growing my YouTube channel. Last year my goal was to get to 1,000 subscribers. I actually made it to 2,000 subscribers, and then this coming year I want to gain about 3,000 more subscribers and get up to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. For some reason, it's really hard to find aesthetic photos of Canadian money. It's always American money, which is actually so ugly. So ignore the fact that this picture is really not that cute. This one just to remind me to be constantly making money and working on my savings, and just keeping in mind a lot of like savings and financial related goals for the year. I had a picture of nails on my board last year too, and that was just to set a goal for myself to be always having like well-kept nails, whether that be manicured myself or at a salon. But this year, this actually represents doing my own nails, because I do my own gel nails now ever since Christmas time. The one you can see in my hands right now is my first ever set I did myself, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm definitely going to do a video soon on how I do them. But this is like a very intricate design, and it's to remind myself to be constantly looking and making new designs and practicing doing my nails. This one's to remind me to get to the gym and that there are no excuses. I definitely went to the gym a lot less than I wanted to in 2020, but this is the year for a comeback. And then this one's actually just a picture of an apartment design I really like. But I'm using this picture to remind myself that I want to move out this year and probably buy a place of my own and furnish it exactly how I want. So this is to remind myself to have that goal in mind all the time. This one's pretty simple. I thought it was a really pretty picture of fruit with some nice colors to bring into my design, but also want to remind myself to be eating healthy this year and lots of fresh fruits, vegetables, etc. This is the first of many affirmations on the board, but it's just to make time for yourself. I feel like in 2020 I had so much time for myself, and I don't want a really busy 2021 to get in the way of that, so this is a reminder for myself. This one just says, remember to always give your best in everything. This one says, be you, do you, for you, and it's another message to just stay authentic and real this year. This one says, work hard, dream big. Another one that's definitely self-explanatory. One of the biggest plans that definitely got majorly interrupted in 2020 was traveling, so that's definitely a big goal for this year. This is actually one of the only images on the entire board that's the same as last year. It's this A+. Believe it or not, it's very hard to find aesthetic photos of good grades for some reason. But it's just to remind myself to be striving for good grades. I'm also taking my LSAT this year and I want to get a good mark on that. So there's going to be a lot of studying happening in 2021. This one says, enjoy the little things. This one says, I'm a boss, and it has quite a few meanings, but the first one of which is important to me because I think of myself as my own boss in my job as a YouTuber, but also has the message that I want to be constantly seeking better employment and moving up in the world and someday to be a boss. And this one actually didn't end up fitting on the board in the end, but it had basically the same meaning as the last one. This is just the YouTube logo to go up with my subscriber count. And focus on the good is another mantra that I want to make sure is on the board. 2020 would not have been so easy had I not been focusing on the good, so it's another thing I'm going to have to keep in mind this year. This is essentially the same strategy I used last year. I'm just going to show you guys again. So the way I build these collages is by doing it right on the back of the frame, just because it's a cheap frame and I'm obviously never going to use it again for anything else. So here I am unwrapping it like a child. If you've ever seen me not want to open a Christmas gift in front of you, it's because I'm a bit of a disaster at unwrapping things. So once I get it unwrapped, I do a dry run, aka no glue, of making what I want the collage to look like, and I piece it all together with the big things on the bottom, and then I layer the smaller things and the mantras on top. And then the most important step of all, I take a picture of it when I like how it looks, and I use that picture as a guide when I'm gluing everything down. Then it's time to go for it. I take all the pictures off, start putting glue in them. It looks like I'm putting glue on the front side of this picture, but actually I had double-sided sheets because I was trying to save paper, and I had left my computer on that setting. So I ended up printing pictures on both sides of these, which sucked. But anyway, when I put glue on that side, I glued down the correct side of the picture, so it was fine. But basically I just stick on all the pictures, at least the bottom layer, and then I put all the ones on top again.
Told me the story of how you met each other. Manhattan for coffee, first stop Astor Place. 5 years later, you walk into the altar.
And in the end, it should look something like this, and it's all set to go back in the frame. I actually ended up not using any of the gems because I wanted to be able to put it in a frame this year. Last year it had the matte look because I didn't use the glass layer over top, and this year I'm going to go for the more glossy look without using the gems. And here's the final product, looking so good. I think what's the craziest about this is how much my aesthetic has changed from last year. There's tons of brown tones and neutrals, and before it was like a neon and hot pink one. But yeah, I love how this turned out. Alrighty, you guys, well, that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for everything you have done this past year to support me achieving my goals. Seriously, it has meant the world. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, the time is now. Also, you can hit that bell icon, that helps me out too. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below any other videos you want to see. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one.